Okay, everybody, welcome to special City of Sweetwater Commission meeting, Monday, October 12th, 2015, 7 p.m., Commission Chambers, 500 Southwest 109 Avenue. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Clerk will note the absence of Commission President Diaz.
Okay, everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and the invocation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lord, please help us in these times where a lot of people are sick. Mayor Diaz's mom is in a hospital and he couldn't be here with us today. Please bless all those that are infirmed and of need. Help take care of our troops abroad and at home, and give us the wisdom to do the right thing here for Sweetwater and for the residents, and that we all can have health and prosperity. Amen.
Amen.
Okay. I have Mr. Frank Paco Reese, wishes to say something to the commission.
Good evening. Thank you for letting me come here. Paco Ruiz, address 11387 West Flagler Street, representing the Lil Abner Foundation. Basically, I am here to again ask for the support of the city, that you've always supported us during the past years with the Thanksgiving bash that we put together for the city. Most of you probably know that the Lil Abner Foundation, what we do is just serve the citizens of Sweetwater. We tutor children from 1st through 12th grade for free. We also provide taekwondo, art classes, dance classes, let me see if I'm missing something, and archery. Okay, and basically this is a mini party that we give for all the citizens of Sweetwater. Last year and the previous year, the city of Sweetwater actually helped us with the distribution of the, if you don't mind me passing it, the distribution of the all the. Let me pass it to you.
Thank you.
To all the citizens of Sweetwater, to all the businesses in Sweetwater. If you notice, we do have the logo there of the city of Sweetwater with the logo of Lil Abner, showing that we were in some kind of a partnership to do this, okay? And we would like to ask for the support again. Basically, the way you supported us last year was you actually brought, like you always bring, the police department to do a demo. The SWAT, I'm not sure if you could do it this year. You actually bring all the different types of equipment that you have for construction so the citizens could see, demo what you actually have and what you have in maintenance. The fire department brings their, it's not from the city, but it's Metro, they bring their big trucks, let the kids see it, go inside, etc. We give all the citizens of Sweetwater free lunch, beverage, and we provide a mini festival environment for the kids. It's an opportunity for all of you to be able to greet the citizens. Many of you have been there in previous year, have spoken to the citizens. We do have some of the other public dignitaries that represent the city in one way or the other, whether it's a state rep, your congressman for this area, the school board member, Marta Perez, Mark Rosenberg from FIU. So it's really a complete community event. And what we like to ask the city is, again, to please back us up. I understand the city has some financial difficulties, and last year we were promised some money. It hasn't come in yet. We hope that we can get it, and we hope we have their support again this year. Last year, the cost was $15,444. This year, it's going to be a little less, okay? But we need your support. Without you, it's really hard to put this event together. And that's what I'm here for, just to ask for, again, for your support. And hope that we can continue doing this for the citizens of Sweetwater. I think it's the biggest event in terms of people that come. Last year we had 2,500 citizens come with their children, and 500 children received free toys that were donated by Representative Carlos Trujillo to the kids. So it's a nice event for the city, and I think it helps the city with all of our image and with just a great event. So that's basically all I'm here for. Okay? Thank you.
Okay, thank you for coming. Anybody else? Okay, move on to item 5. Resolution of the City Commission of the City of Sweetwater, Florida, authorizing the mayor to execute attached affiliation agreement with Kaiser University to provide occupational therapy services at the senior center at no cost to the city, and providing for an effective date. Mayor Lopez and Director of Operations.
Move.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
I got a motion by Dwaso and second by Ms. Maronio, I'm sorry, Commissioner Maronio. Passes unanimously. Okay. Item 6, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Sweetwater, Florida, authorizing the mayor to expend $2,000 for preparations for the Halloween event at Ronzelli Park and providing for an effective date. Mayor Lopez.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Duazo, second by Commissioner Maronio. All in favor?
Aye.
Passes unanimously. Okay, item 7. A resolution of the mayor and the city commission of the city of Sweetwater, Florida, declaring 5 parcels of city-owned real property as surplus and authorizing the sale of such property, authorizing the mayor to secure realty services to assist in the sale of said real property, and providing for an effective date. Mayor Lopez?
Through the chair.
Yes, sir.
There's a couple amendments that have to be done to this resolution. One that I had emailed Guillermo asking him to authorize the hiring of an appraiser. That you said it was listed in the resolution. It's not listed in the resolution. It depicts hiring a real estate agent, but not an appraiser.
Right.
We first have to hire an appraiser, so that has to be amended beforehand. Second, it lists declaring the city as in surplus, but in reality, it's not surplus, because surplus is for personal property, not for real estate property, so that verbiage just has to get stricken.
It really doesn't impact what you're attempting to do. That was just even though what is codified is, you're right, it's for personal property. This was simply included to show that there is no other public use for this property at this time.
Right.
Should you wish to remove the language, it's fine. It's really superfluous.
Surplus property could be given away.
We're not, that personal property can.
Right.
Declaring a surplus was simply as a designation, there's no public purpose for that land, but it can
Yeah,
be
just to-
stricken as you
to
wish.
strike that, and then one of the things that has to be added as one of the components of the resolution is authorizing the expenditure of, I'm ballparking that an appraiser is gonna be somewhere between $2,500 to $5,000. So we have to authorize the expenditure, let's say up to a maximum of $5,000 to have the property appraised. So once it's appraised, then we can get a fair market value for the property.
From which funding source, Mr. Mayor, so I can make the change?
The only thing that we have right now would be the contingency account, that there's about $100,000 in the 15-16 budget, so we're gonna have to get it out of there.
Okay. Well, I have a different opinion. First of all, I don't see the hurry to sell this property, because there's a lot of things that have been going on here that are not settled. We still don't have either your signature or veto of the budget, which includes what put us over the top and was the reason why this property had to be, put up for sale to meet the budget. There's been a couple of other different things. The actual positions that were unbudgeted are still here, as far as I know. The employees and the people that were put back in the budget are not here, and have been laid off, and it was like 1.7 million, I think, the whole total. And that's gonna be more than the profit that we're gonna make. The city has also apparently asked the state for money to help us. That, we don't know what's gonna happen with that. The mayor has also said that the governor would be here by the end of the year if we kept the taxes the way they were, and that might be of substantial cause for us to sell or not sell. I don't see the hurry. That's a property that I think we should try in all our best to try to keep the property. I don't know if it can be leased out. I don't know if we can keep it, depending on what happens with the budget, with all those things that I just said right now. So what I want to do is I want to make a motion to defer this.
And I'll actually address every one of those topics if I can remember them. I said the state would probably be in here, but that was halted when Commission President Diaz sent a letter to the governor saying that everything that was depicted in the request for financial emergency, they said it was all exaggerated and lies. You had requested that I speak to the representatives from Regions Bank about an extension on the line of credit, which is due November 1st, and very wholeheartedly, they said no, that they would not extend the line of credit because the line of credit was guaranteed by the repayment from the funding sources on the drainage project, and the city already expended $1.5 million of it. So then I explained to them that we had this sale as well, so we can leverage on this sale. We can't obviously use this property to leverage on it because we can't use a municipal properties to as a guarantee for a loan. So this is the only viable option for us right now to get out of a not a 1.5, a $2 million debt that's due in less than a month.
I
You
understand.
know, versus an extension that's
Right.
being requested
But
from the bank to see
when-
if we can hold off for a year.
Right, but when we created the budget, the final budget, that money was not to be used for that. The money was to be used to pay for the 1.7 million of people, that, by the way, there's people there.
What
which is-
happens if the bank forecloses on that debt come November 1st?
That I don't know. I don't know. But the thing is that at the end of the day, Mayor, and I'm not trying to be rude to you or anything, but this game has been going on so long. With the jobs, the money, we need it, they're coming, they're not coming, we're gonna sell, we need the money for this, we need the money for that. And I really wanna see where any of the things that you have said come true. Because,
You know, I asked the
you
city
know,
attorney
I don't
2
want
weeks ago
them to
for a legal
foreclose, I don't want
opinion.
nothing wrong to go
And
with the
what would
city.
happen if we wouldn't sell? What would be the ramifications of all this if?
Well,
paid by
let's go
November
back to the
1st?
things. We have, and unfortunately, I have to talk about it because it's the only thing that I can say about all this issue is that the employees that we told at a meeting specifically, don't bring back any of the employees or put back anybody. Then all of a sudden it was, oh, well, we're gonna follow the resolutions. Well, they haven't followed anything for 4 months. The day before, it's, hey, try this one for size. And here's 1.3, you guys are in the hole. To try to force us to keep the tentative budget. And then when we have to use the property to cover the employees or the people that brought back, and I explained it specifically, that when we were bringing her back, we were gonna try to get together and have something to see if we make cuts. Because they weren't supposed to be put back. Whatever was left over, which is $850,000, is the amount of people that we could afford, or we would see what we would have to do at that time.
850, what, from selling the property and paying off the
No,
loan?
no, no. When we finished the after the tentative budget, we had 2 meetings. I missed one because I had a family issue, but altogether it was about $850,000 in savings. So we were in the black, $850,000, and then they were supposed to bring back. We were supposed to sit down and say, Mayor, everybody, we can only afford to bring back this many people. But what's happened is you guys put the whole ball of wax in there. Even people that were fired, people that were laid off, people that aren't coming back, people that have applied to other places, and that kind of thing. So what happens is we've still got a big mess with $1.7 million that's not being addressed. And we're doing all this to sell the property so that we can get $1.7 million and not to address what we put it for. It's to address the bank. And I understand that maybe that's something we have to do, but it's a game that you've been playing for a while, and it's hard to keep up.
If
So
you
I
don't-
don't- I don't
if
know what to
if
tell
you
you,
don't want to
because
address
if
this and
we're-
you don't want to sell the property, I will communicate that to the bank tomorrow. Because this was our sole leverage against the bank right now.
Well, but you said you can't leverage it against it.
No, not to use it as a guarantee for the repayment, because you can't do it. The only possibility that the bank would contemplate giving an extension on the maturity of the loan, and they would contemplate a 6-month maturity on a loan, would be contingency on the sale of the property to be able to use approximately $1.5 million of the sale of the property to pay this off, because we're expecting a check in the next day or two from EPA of $340,000 approximately, so we can pay down the line. So about $500,000, we know that we're gonna get reimbursed and we can pay it, but we're still got $1.5 million that was spent in last year's fiscal budget that was put into general operating costs, that the only place that we can take it, because obviously we don't have that extra money in the budget,
Right.
would be from the sale of this property.
And the bank has told you, no.
They basically told me to go pound sand, that we were guaranteed, that the bank's guarantee was contingent on the reimbursement from the funds.
that was their guarantee, that those funds had to pay down the line. The city didn't do it. The city used those monies to put it into general operating funds. So basically, the bank's stance right now is, we trusted you one time, and you defaulted.
Right.
You cheated us out of.
Don't we also have $500,000 that's coming in?
Yeah, please.
Don't we also have $500,000 that's coming in,
Correct, that's what I'm saying, we.
can't we
have
use those
about
500 to
$500,000
tell them, here's what we got
to
for
pay
now,
down
let's move it
on
on?
the $2 million, but we're still in the hook for $1.5 million that was spent last year.
Right.
You know,
Commissioner,
and
if I
Rob
may?
was in all these meetings.
I actually had the conversation with the bank, the last of the conversations, there were several of them. The last one I had with one of the representatives by cell phone last week. It was the day after you and I were supposed to meet to go over the budget. And the conversation went as follows. Essentially, that they feel that they have guaranteed funds, and that the guaranteed funds have been spent, that they're not willing to wait for a protracted period of time on this. Right now, what is outstanding, right now the entire amount's gonna come due on November 1st. And their remedy for this, and it was tossed out, it wasn't an overt threat, so you understand, but
Right.
it was tossed out, which I thought was a very interesting remedy, because I've never been in this position where a municipality would not pay, and I always wondered, as a legal matter, I always wondered what the solution for this would be. And he said, well, if need be, we may just file a petition for writ of mandamus. A writ of mandamus is an order from a court compelling, a public official, in this case would be the mayor and the city clerk, and also the finance director, because he would have to issue the check, to comply with the ministerial order. And there's no judgment, the money's owed, there's no question about it, you gotta pay it. So if there's no resolution to this in a friendly sort of matter, we might find that within about 10 or 15 days from the day that we get sued, we will owe $1.5 million, the entire $1.9 million has to be paid immediately. So, again, I just want to toss it out so you understood the full ramifications. I had not had a full conversation with the mayor on that. I just told him essentially
Right.
they pretty
Well-
much told us no.
I think that, I'm not privy to those conversations, but if we're getting $550,000, and we have this other property that we put at 180, if we can get that, and we show up to the bank and tell them that's $730,000, here you go, can you give us another 6 months extension? That's not something that's possible?
And
It's a big difference from
the
zero.
only place to come up with a $1.5 million is the sale of this property.
But that's not what was, that was set for before. In other words, what you're doing again is you're holding hostage all the jobs of all these people, but you're keeping the unbudgeted people, and you have all the people that are supposed to be being put back, not being put back. And it's not because I'm being hard-headed. I'm trying to be fair, and I tried to be fair when we said, hey, hold off, don't put them in the budget until we know what numbers we are. But you tried to stick it to us, and here you go. Now I'm gonna follow the law, and I'm gonna put back all these people. And that's all we had to do at that time. And the property is what we put up against that, not against the taxes. So, I'm pretty sure if we go to the bank and tell them, here's $730,000, give us another 6 months to work on it, because we got other money coming in. It's not like money's not gonna be coming in. But it's just, they can't be all now. Because you said that about originally, we had the $550,000, and hopefully that'll be taken care of. We had the $1 million that we had to pay from the senior center. That was not your fault or Jose's fault, it was just something that was due.
$550,000 are still owed, that we still have to
Right,
make
but that's-
negotiations with the state of Florida on trying to pay them down, that we're still in the process of that,
Right.
trying to negotiate that down. And again, that's still another outstanding debt. You know, but we're still dealing with this, and the very real possibility, you know, that I had asked Guillermo to look into the documents and everything, because, you know, to the best of my understanding, when I was speaking to the bank, they were guaranteed by the first right of the monies. The monies came in, they had to. The city was obligated to pay down the line. The city used $1.5 million of that to offset the cost of the operating budget for the last year. You know, so when you speak to the bank and you tell them, well, help me extend it, and I told them, I said, they are approximately $500,000 that are still owed by EPA and FEMA and everything that have to come in. these monies are guaranteed they're gonna come in, that I even made the stipulation for them, that I even told them, I said, if you want, we'll open another account, and we'll have these monies routed into this account, so we don't even see them, we don't have access to them, and within 24 hours of clearing, that they will automatically go out. I went to that, even to that extent, to extend their comfort level so that they were guaranteed that they were gonna be paid and not basically.
Okay. Well, I'll take my motion back, and the commission can decide to do whatever they want.
Mr. President, I think that we need to sell that property.
Okay.
That's that's my opinion. I don't know about the other members, but we
Right.
need to take care of this tonight. That's I
That's
don't
your
know
motion?
about that's my motion.
To approve as amended the,
As amended.
It's also without an authorization up to $5,000. I think it's gonna be about $2,500, but I need a little bit of a leeway just in case.
and another question would be, I don't, the mayor is gonna handle this, he's well enough to handle this. A realty service is gonna charge us 6%, which is, if it's $2 million, it's like $120,000 for doing nothing.
No, it's about $150,000, but that's also another thing that, once we get the appraisal, that I wanna speak to the attorney about, the city of Cuadra, because with an appraisal in hand, if we advertise the property and we receive above appraisal, at that point in time, I don't think it will be necessary to have to hire a realtor. But we already have an appraisal of the property. You know, we can always guesstimate the property and say it's worth $2 million, $3 million, but without actual appraisal, it's gonna compare.
But can we take the realtor part out of that? Let's take it out now,
Just in
because,
case.
no, there's no just in case here anymore.
You know, I and Ralph and I have been
The
discussing.
case is
this.
always
I don't
gonna be
wanna
150
put-
at the
I
end
don't
of-
wanna go through a realtor.
Right.
I would prefer to sell, as long as, once we have an appraisal of the property, then obviously we're going to be approached by several people interested in the property. And then at that point in time, what we can probably do, which is one of the things that was discussed with Guillermo, but we have to wait till we get the appraisal in hand, is probably advertise the property on the city's website, you know, and do it for probably a 21-day period, 30-day period, and then start receiving blind offers above the appraised offer. And if we do that, we save $150,000 by not going to a realtor.
Right. But can we take it off now then? Because if nobody
You can
wants
take it off
it.
if you like, you know, if it doesn't.
I don't wanna-
Okay, so her motion is as amended and without a realtor. I don't know how you would want to phrase it, because I want to make sure it's,
Just to go over the amendments to make sure we have it right, it is basically to go ahead and authorize the mayor to attain the services of an appraiser for the property with an authorization, I'm sorry?
No more than
With
5,000.
an authorization to spend up to $5,000 on said services. Removal of the
The language on
portions
the realtor,
related to the
the
to
surplus.
the realtor and the surplus language.
okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Yaño. And this just is all in favor. Say aye.
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 No from me. Okay, we move on to item 8. Resolution urging the Florida legislature to enact legislation prohibiting hydraulic fracturing in the state of Florida. Mayor?
So this resolution that was acted by sister cities of ours that is asking the legislature to stop the fracking in the oil industry that's fracking off the coast because it's contaminating the aquifer, our drinking source. So this is asking the legislature to start creating new regulations to.
But aren't they do that in the Everglades too? They're doing it. So this includes the Everglades.
Right, anything that contaminates the Biscayne aquifer.
Okay, I move. Move myself and Commissioner Maruano, second by Commissioner Duaso and Barreto. All in favor? Aye. Item 9, a resolution of the mayor and the city commission of the city of Sweetwater, Florida, declaring certain city-owned real property as surplus and authorizing the sale of such property, authorizing the mayor to secure realty services and assist the sale of said real property, and providing an effective date.
Okay, may I, to the chair again?
Sir?
In this one, again, it's to strike the language on the surplus, it doesn't need to be there. And I was requesting also to remove the part of the realty services. What I had mentioned before was, well, we had requested before to try to do a blind Dutch auction on this. Well, we'll set a minimum reserve on it, let's advertise it on the web as well. And we'll advertise it some other places where it doesn't cost us any money, and then set a minimum reserve. Again, we'll give 30 days to for bids to come in, and then we'll open them here in the commission and accept the highest bid so long as it meets the minimum threshold on the reserve.
Right.
If we don't hit it, then we'll approach it, we'll come back to commission again and seek alternate sources, alternate ways to sell.
Right, and to be clear, this is a property on 113 and 3,
112 and 3.
112.
112 and 3.
Because I think in the paper it said 113. Maybe I read it wrong, man. There's so much stuff.
It really depends on who you ask.
Corner 112 and 3.
11137.
Right, Southwest 3.
Okay, that's what I read wrong. Okay. Okay, I make a motion.
Second.
Second.
Okay, a
As
motion by
amended.
myself.
As amended.
As amended,
Amendment.
without the realty, and,
We have to set the reserve. Now, like I was saying in previous meetings, we budgeted a sale at $180,000. I personally don't think we're gonna get $180,000, but I think that we should set the reserve at 150. So anything above 150, we sell it. I had sat down with some elected official that come to my office and said that the property was worth $300,000. It's not worth 300 grand. We'll get over 150, but I don't think we'll even make the 180,000 that we budgeted. But we need to set a reserve on it so we can advertise it.
okay, is that a fair value? I have no idea.
Through the chair.
Sir.
According to the Dade County Property Services, the market value of that property is about $57,000.
I think it was 87, but you can't really go by Miami-Dade property.
I saw it yesterday, 57,500.
Okay, I thought I had read 87, but you really can't go by
Right.
that. It's worth more than that.
More than that.
Yeah. It's not worth 300. It's at least worth about 50.
Oh,
I don't know about a
wish we
$180.
could- I wish we could sell it for 200,000.
Oh,
I'm just
so do I.
saying what I saw in the website yesterday, and it struck me.
They always low
Wow,
Yeah, they appraise their land very low.
Okay, so as amended and set a minimum reserve of 150?
And we'll set up some parameters afterwards
Okay,
for
so,
the Blind Dutch
do you have
auction.
about who I made the motion and, Barreto?
You and Commissioner Morone made the motion, Commissioner Duaso and Commissioner Barreto.
All right, perfect. All in favor?
Aye.
That's amended.
As amended. Okay, ratification of department heads, code requirement. Anything, Mayor?
No, sir, not at this time.
Okay. Item 11, adjournment. Moved by Commissioner Barreto, second by Commissioner.
Before we adjourn, we're gonna move the certification department head to the next meeting, correct?
It's code requirement, I think.
Go requirement
Yes, every time.
every time? No, it wasn't done once the meeting.
They missed it last time. No.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, the meeting is adjourned. Anybody need time or go ahead into the next meeting? Okay. Welcome, everyone. Again, this one's set for 7:15 and it's now 7:32. Commission Chambers, 500 Southwest 109 Avenue. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Clerk will note the absence of Commission President Diaz.
Okay, we'll bypass the Pledge of Allegiance and invocation. Public comments, anybody wishes to say anything? Okay. Let the record reflect nobody came up. Item 5, discussion of interlocal agreement with the Beacon Trade Board Community Development District for the facilitation of construction and improvement of a 3-lane roadway on Northwest 117th Street between 112th Avenue and 108th Avenue, with left turn lane, sidewalks, curbs, gutters, traffic signalization, signage, pavement markings, storm drainage system, and street lighting. Mayor?
Louis, if you can come forward and bring the board up so. I don't know if you want to discuss, you want me to discuss it, we'll do it in tandem. Whatever you like. You can get the majority of the presentation, so I don't give any erroneous information.
Watch out. Ralph?
Rafa, get-
Let me put this one if you want here, so we'll mail that camera will catch it.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. I'm the district manager for.
Please,
Sir.
You're gonna need your name and address for the record.
Sure.
You can do it to
¿Con quién es que le hizo CBRD?
No, la cámara aquí, man.
Better?
That's okay, thank you.
I apologize that I don't have more space, and I will try to get out of the way. I'm Luis Hernandez. I'm the district manager for Beacon Trade Port Community Development District. You probably know it as the Dolphin Mall and all the industrial side that it goes up to the north. The reason that I'm here tonight is that the Board of Supervisors of Beacon Trade Port Community Development District has decided to present an option to the city of Sweetwater. As you probably are familiar with, this is Northwest 17th Street. This is the current condition of that road. Oh my gosh. As you probably can see, the road is falling apart. But no, the most important part is that that road hasn't been finished. There is an area within the road that is still closed. And the proposal that you're receiving from the CDD tonight is an option for us to be able to finance it. The construction that it would be, right now this portion is almost done up to here, but when we finalize everything all the way to 108th Avenue, it's going to be improving the corridor that it goes from 112 to 107. The way how the district is planning on doing all this, Beacon Trade Port is issuing some bonds. We just did the parking garage. And what we're trying to accomplish is, at the same time that we're issuing those bonds, to issue the necessary money to pay for this road. Part of what the agreement is presenting is, not being from the legal side, just from the administrative side, first of all, to ask for the permission, this road belongs to the city, so we need your permission for us to be able to do that improvement. The second part is presenting a mechanism that if funds were to be available, the district would be reimbursing the district. And that's part of what is being presented in that agreement.
Now, let me get it.
The city will be reimbursing.
Reimbursing the city.
The city will be
Right.
reimbursing the district. And now let me explain that part. Okay, this is 107th Avenue, this 111th Avenue, 112th Avenue goes into the mall. Okay. Remember that when there is any current development, the property, let's say like right now, this, the Hilton Dual brand, they're responsible for the development of the sidewalks and streetscape and everything. So as this is being developed, this part will be incorporated into the street. This street is basically done. This property is soon to be developed. Well, actually, it's not, because this is Miami-Dade County. So there is going to be no development at any point in time, any time in the future or anything. So this street, this parcel of property will never be responsible for paying the district back or the city, and in turn, us back. We'll never pay for this section of the improvements because there will never be development there. When we come to this area of warehouses here, this was already developed some time ago, and the sidewalks and the street improvements weren't done. So they will not pay the city either, so we in turn will not reimburse the district. When this parcel and this parcel get developed, then the monies that these parcels and this one pay the city, then we have to reimburse the district. So only in the parcels that are actually gonna get developed within whatever years that we set in the contract, that I think that we had discussed was 3 years. So if we're forward looking for 3 years, if these parcels get developed in the next 3 years, the monies from this part that were to pay for half the roadway improvement out of the impact fees, they will pay for the roadway improvement and the sidewalks for this area. So even though the whole total project's gonna cost $1.1 million, we will never be on the hook for the full amount. We will only pay when this gets improved. Let's say like right now, this property right here is about to get improved. So these monies will pay for this improvement. This one's already doing it right now. This was already done, so he will not have any impact fees in the near future, neither will this. So only from the properties that will actually be new, that's not this one, it does apply to this one and this whole section right here. These monies that will be paid from roadway improvements will be paid to reimburse the district. And then that's the commitment that would be part of the resolution. And, you know, they will pay for the approximate $1.1 million to do for all the a restoration of the streets and the sidewalks and everything, the streetscapes, the markings, the street signs and everything, but we will only be responsible to pay back only the parts that are actually developed within the 3 years that are in the contract.
But from 110 to 112, that's part of the
108.
district already, so we're not paying that.
Well, district actually starts right here,
Okay,
but the district is going to do the street all the way to 108th Avenue.
right.
You know, so let's say that these are the 5 parcels the city owns, and then the parcels on the corner that are 2 or 3 more parcels. So whoever buys this, and once they develop it, if they do develop it within the next 3 years, then the monies that go toward road improvement that they're responsible for half the street, then these monies will use to pay the district. Remember, they're not general fund monies, they're impact fees monies. The same will apply to this property right here. You can't really see it there. This property here, which is the one that recently was purchased as well. So once they develop this one, then the monies that are used for the road improvements, for the impact fees, will be reimbursed for the district.
Mayor, and if the improvements are done after 3 years, 4, 5, 6 years, who's gonna reimburse the district?
They don't get reimbursed.
Nobody the city.
If somebody buys it and decides to develop it 10 years from now, you know, we are only have a commitment to reimburse for the next 10 years. If they purchase it and never redevelop, we don't have to pay it back.
Please. Mayo y si no necesario, Carlos Lanza.
Excuse me?
Make your opinion. Carlos Lanza.
We've met with Carlos last time and Eric on both of this. Right now, we're not making any decision.
Right.
This is just a discussion. We have to have a resolution basically agreed between the trade ports legal and our legal by Wednesday. Wednesday, we were gonna call a special meeting again for next week on Monday, because they have to have the resolution approved by no later than the 22nd, I believe, right?
Before the 22nd.
Before the 22nd, to be able to issue the bonds to do the street improvements.
I think it's a good idea.
Especially that we're not gonna be
We're not
responsible
gonna have
for
the money to
everything.
fix that street in a long time.
Right.
But then again, we just talked about the property. You know, the property value is gonna go up quite a
Correct.
bit when that gets done.
That was one of the things that we discussed
So
with Eric
the
today.
hurry is the
You know,
issue why I
that
had.
part of this, there's actually a section that there's no drainage on, there's no water. So once they have to put, the Beacon Trade Port puts drainage in there, then one of the recommendations that Eric gave was to actually, what was it? The connections individually under the sidewalk and everything, so at no point in time over the next couple of years does the developer have to tear apart the street and the sidewalks to do connections. So at that point in time, that's really another 5 cents. We would have to engage the Beacon Trade Port and find out what our cost would be for that. But that, again, gets paid out of road impact fees. So that the street and the sidewalks don't have to be torn up at a later date.
Mr. Attorney?
I just want to caution you with one procedural item, that if you want to call a meeting for next Monday, we will have to have all the items out to the commission
By Wednesday.
by tomorrow.
Tuesday,
By tomorrow?
I'm sorry, by
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 tomorrow
tomorrow.
night, yeah.
for Monday.
So that gives you Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and
Hold on, because they
Monday.
need it by the 22nd. I was
Move
just
it to
thinking Monday.
Tuesday.
So we could do it, but then you have the issue of the items being for the rulable.
Well, we can always, if we have it by Wednesday, it'll be good by Tuesday of next
Right.
week, which is the 20th. It's still 2 days earlier than what your deadline is. And I'm just trying to buy 2 days so I can go between legal and legal. Okay.
I don't think anybody's gonna pull a 4-day rule for that.
No, but I want to make sure that you know
Okay.
procedurally.
No, it's that even honestly, if you get it on Friday, you have enough time to read it over the weekend. It's, you know, when you get things at 5 o'clock in the afternoon for our 7 o'clock meeting, I can understand it being happening.
You could call it for Monday, but if the materials are not in by tomorrow, I just want to let you know that it's for the rulable. Just so you know, I mean, that's all I wanted to kind
Okay.
of highlight.
Okay, so that sounds good. Anybody got any comments?
Well, let me ask while everybody's here, do you guys mind scheduling a meeting already for Monday? Knowing that the agendas could possibly go out Wednesday or Thursday, but you'll have ample time to read it, because there's only gonna be one item on for discussion, which is going to be the resolution for the agreement between the city, the interlocal between the city and the Beacon Trade Port.
It'll be the resolution and the interlocal agreement.
Right.
But I can't speak for Commissioner Diaz.
Right. I can't speak for him, but at least for me, it's fine. Monday's fine.
Right. Okay, perfect. You know, we're gonna try, I think that 2 days should
Commissioner
suffice
Moreno, you got a
to,
Yeah, no
problem?
problem.
Okay.
you know, I think that 2 days will be enough to ping pong between the attorneys and stuff like that, and
The time, what time, sir?
What time?
7.
No,
So we-
8 o'clock.
Let's make it 8 o'clock. Let's make it 8
Yeah,
o'clock.
8 o'clock.
No, what happens is that sometimes, Commissioner, the traffic is really, I get stuck sometimes.
Maybe we need 4 people for a quorum to start a meeting.
Yeah, but,
I have no problem with the traffic.
right. Let's make it 8, man. Maybe we get everybody happy. Okay, thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you,
Okay.
Louis. We'll be in contact tomorrow, and then over the next 2 days or so, we should be able to finish this out.
Okay, let's move on to item 6, discussion of city's financial condition. Mayor?
Okay, tomorrow, as you were mentioning a little while ago, we're having a meeting with Senator Flores to see if there's some form of budget bailout that they can provide to the city. Really don't know if they're going to be able to do it. Right now, they're in committee. Session doesn't start till January. So if they do it, I don't know if they're going to do it. You know, Ricardo walked into my office today, and, you know, as he does daily, once the... What was the exact figure you gave me this morning that will be cash on hand after the monies are transferred for payroll on Wednesday?
Bueno, speaking of that money from the government, I understand the police officers were told that because it's the commissioner's fault that we didn't raise the taxes, that the state was going to come in and give us money, and that they were all going to be getting full-time jobs.
I love
And
Who's
it'll be
they?
very interesting to see
Who's
that.
they?
What do you mean, who's they?
Who's they? You're saying they were told.
Some of the officers.
Well, there's a lot of rumors going around downstairs, and I try to dispel as many of those rumors as possible, but as I was saying...
Well, they told me, well, I'm not gonna get into that. We'll speak personally about that.
You know, if you look at the right-hand column, there's $698,000 approximately right now in the city. $698,000 and change, all the way in the far right. Once the monies are transferred to cover this week's payroll, approximately $345,000, what will the city be left with? About $340,000 at this time?
Approximately.
Okay. We have, at the time, you know, well over $400,000 or more, or $500,000 of monies that are owed right now to vendors. I just had a meeting with one of our vendors that hasn't been paid in 4 months, you know, and I told them, I explained to them that, you know, we're going through our issues, and they told us that once it exceeded the 90-day, so I made them a payment. You know, we paid the fuel for the county. We just made the June payment. We still owe them July, August, September, and we're going into October. You know, we're trying to get through our dry spell, but trying to keep you guys abreast as much as possible that the very realistic possibility that if we, right after this week's payroll, if we have $340,000, if we don't have a huge influx of money, once we get hit with the next payroll, the city doesn't have a dime.
Right. And in that payroll, do you include the unbudgeted people that you're paying?
This is payroll for everybody that's in the city at this moment.
That's unbudgeted. Even the people that are unbudgeted.
No, the people that are budgeted.
No.
May I, Mr. President? You have another copy for Mr. Ria? You have another copy for Mr. Ria? Yeah. Put in the table, please.
Oh, you can email it to everybody tomorrow as well.
Thank you. I will email you tomorrow.
And as I was saying, we have a meeting with Senator Flores tomorrow to request, as I was discussing with Ricardo and Ralph, you they're more inclined to ask for a loan. A loan could be actually secondary, but I'm actually going to request just a form of bailout. If we could receive somewhere between $2 to $3 million in bailout monies, I don't know if the state's going to have it, if it's going to be available or anything, but otherwise, I've had subsequent meetings with Ricardo, and even when the ad valorem dollars start coming in December, that we'll get them between December and January. I've asked him, I said, at any point in time, do you see sufficient money coming in so we can cover our debt and be out of the hole?
So that money that we're getting is not gonna go to get full-time officers?
Which monies?
The money you're asking for a bailout or whatever you wanna call it this week?
The bailout would be to be able to pay everything that the city has encumbered in debt. Remember that when the city did its budget right now, it's addressing all the budgeted expenses from October 1st through September 30th. It still hasn't addressed all the unbudgeted expenses that it has that we haven't addressed. We still owe the state of Florida $560,000 that we still haven't addressed. We haven't budgeted into fiscal year 15-16. We haven't touched it because it's a debt that we have right now. We owe our waste service money. We owe Metro-Dade money for
But again,
gas.
I'm asking a pretty simple question. To dispel the rumors that you say that are out there.
Correct.
The money's not gonna be used to get full-time officers.
The money would be used to try to get 100% out of debt to be able to have a clean slate where the city can move forward. And I don't even know that, we were talking about it the other day that we would need at least probably about $2 million right now to be 100% debt-free.
Okay.
And I don't
Is
think,
that it?
the state's gonna give it, but.
Commissioner Aranda?
Yes. I would like to ask a question, please, about the 2015-16 budget. Is already complete? With all the amendments, we were having some problems. There were some issues.
As you can see, the two spreadsheets that we developed based on each and every one of the commission amendments on 922, 921, and 923. Excuse me. We developed the fourth revision to the 15 and 16. In essence, we included each and every one of your amendments into this budget document as directed by the City Commission. Today, Mr. Suarez stopped by. Commissioner Diaz gave me a call. Unfortunately, he had to go to the hospital. We answered a couple of questions, and
It's already
so I
complete.
guess to answer your question, this was developed based on all of those commission's amendments. When we sat down with Mr. Bergignan in my office, and then the next time when we had a commission meeting and you were absent, Commissioner Diaz also made a few amendments, and that was the second page of this spreadsheet that all of you have.
Yes.
And if you don't, I'll be happy to email it to you or give you a hard copy right now.
So
And, oh, go ahead.
no, I'm sorry. So at this point, it's already, the 2015-16 budget is already done.
This is
Yes.
the document.
And it's
It was
already
emailed to you on Friday.
on Friday, yes, I got that. So I just wanna make sure they were complete, so it's gonna be given to the city clerk for her to just perform
It's
something.
being already
Already?
sent to the city clerk
So it's
and
ready,
the city attorney.
so it's ready to be presented to the mayor. Is that correct, or I'm missing something?
I guess it was presented on Friday when it
It
got
was already
done.
presented?
No,
No.
the resolution just finished getting signed, so it'll go to the mayor tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay. That was my
Wait.
question, thank you.
Mr. Mendes.
Okay.
Again, just to be clear, because it's the same games that we've been playing for a while here. You're still paying on budgeted positions.
I'll defer. I'm
No,
gonna
that's a
defer.
yes or no. That's,
Uh,
because I expressed to you last time that that's the ordinance that was made here a while back, and that's, I guess will be illegal.
The city is currently operating under our adopted tentative budget, which is,
And why is that?
which
The commission's already approved it.
which was the according to our records, approved on on September 14th.
No, but we already adopted a budget waiting for his signature, but we've approved it at the commission level.
Rob, would you like to answer that?
The budget has not yet been presented to the mayor for his signature. I don't know if the mayor intends to sign it or veto it. If the mayor vetoes it, then we proceed under the tentative budget.
Okay, but the question still remains. You're paying unbudgeted personnel.
If I may.
Yes, sir.
I'm not the finance director, but my understanding is that depending on the year, there are 1, 2, maybe 3 actual budgeted employees whose specific entry is budgeted. And my understanding is that's the city clerk, the mayor, perhaps somebody else, I don't know. Everybody else is budgeted by department in an item that is identified as staff, is that correct?
Salaries.
Salaries. And then there's an addendum behind that that explains how those salaries are apportioned at the time that the budget is approved. But the actual budgeted item is a block item that states salaries.
I beg to differ. That's why the whole thing with the position, and there's position number, we went through that whole thing. You have to have a position number, and we're not firing or hiring anybody. We are unfunding positions, a car, a basketball, whatever it may be. We're not hiring or firing, we're not doing the mayor's job, and that thing of having a block, here, Mayor, it's $4 million for the police department, you hire and fire and give whoever you want money.
Well, Commissioner, that is your
Right.
opinion, and
Right.
I respect your opinion. The administration has a diametrically opposed opinion, and the administration's opinion, quite simply, is that the provisions of the charter that entrust the mayor with hiring and firing
Right.
cannot be circumvented by defunding specific individual employees who are not individually funded as in the budget. They are funded under salaries. The city commission has the position of the mayor is that the city commission has the authority to increase or decrease the appropriations for the salary items, but not the way that those items are spent in individual employees. You're entitled to your opinion, absolutely.
Right.
The mayor has a separate opinion.
Attorney?
Mr. President, as I've stated in the past, the commission has the power of the purse. The commission, as a matter of policy, determines the service levels that are provided to city residents. Relative to that, to the extent that you have a budget and you have line items and positions there, you may fund or defund as you please. The chief of staff is correct in saying that the commission cannot hire or fire, that is the exclusive venue of the mayor under the charter. And I have also explained to you in some instances that where you defund a position, I have made it clear that you may not be impacting that particular individual. If you defund 2 positions out of 5, call it maintenance worker, it is up to the mayor to look into how those positions are going to be filled, which goes in tune to show that the mayor does the hiring and firing. You may simply fund or defund those positions. That is my opinion as city attorney, and with opinions of this nature, those are binding until reversed by a court of law as it relates to the city. So that's my opinion.
You want to say something, Paul?
Actually, I'd rather not.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else, Mayor?
That's all.
Okay. Item 7, adjournment. Do I have a motion?
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Berto, second by Commissioner Duazo. All in favor? Aye. All right, thank you, everybody.
Night, everyone.
Thank you for your patience.
Thank you.